Welcome to the class of Stig analysis by myself, Dr. Shefali Sonone. What points we are discussing, that is the Stig analysis, what exactly it is. In the earlier session, we have gone for the steganography, and like whenever we studied about the cryptography and the crypt analysis, which is the countermeasure or rather breaking the code without knowing the algorithm of the cryptography or without knowing the key itself, the crypt analysis was another branch for the study purpose. In a similar fashion, whenever we study about the steganography, the Stig analysis is the hand-in-hand branch and we need to understand the basics of those. So in this particular session, I would like to go for certain points for the discussions. The first point is that is the Stig analysis and its types. The types are given with 2-3 different styles. Actually, those styles are not having any relevance from one to other, but these are for some of the classification mechanisms. Then we are having one of the type for the discussion, that is the universal and specific Stig analysis. Some learnings are there. In what way the Stig analysis or the estimation of the message is there. Maybe some statistical tools are there, some calculations are there, or we may have certain AI based learning for those estimation of the messages are there. Then we are able to detect some of the hidden information. In what way we can detect those? Some of the case studies we may go through it. Then we can have certain anomaly detections. Possibly these are useful in intrusion detection prevention system. And if any crypt analysis is to be considered along with this Stig analysis, what thought processes we need to imagine or move further for the research perspective, we can discuss here itself. Okay, so according to whenever we are going for this Stig analysis, actually there is no formal definition for this one, but rather we can have our expression of the particular methodology in any of the means. For example, I may say that searching for the existing or existence of the hidden messages or the Stigo contents in the given medium, that is maybe the cover image or the cover content for the example purpose. I am using here some of the images because these are very good for the demonstration purpose, but still any of the medium you can utilize. So if any existence is to be found, then we can have certain things with our hand. With those we can have the traces for finding the hidden information. For example, I may say that some Stigo information or Stigo medium is only available, and with this Stigo medium you need to have certain analysis, quite difficult. Then possibly we may have certain original cover, that is the carrier signal and the Stigo signal, both are available, with which you can have the decision for the information which is hidden down into this one. And the node message, if any message which is revealed in the particular say crypt or the Stigo media, so if we are able to understand that message and if we are having certain idea that which message we have hidden from this one, then possibly we may go for further for the breaking of the attacks over this one. So these are some of the types or some of the categories are there. Possibly these categories can can get integrated together so that you can have the further categories, and in that way you can have certain operations to find out the hidden information. So actually whenever we'll go for the blind identification, most of the times there are categories that you may have the private or the public steganography. In the private steganography, you are having the original and say Stigo medium both with your hand, but in a blind steganography, which is the public one, you don't have any original signal or the original cover medium with you. So in that way we can say that some message embedding algorithm is there, or other information which we are embedding may be given in some transformation matrix itself. And if any information with certain key is there, and if the operation is carried out with some black box operation, that means we are not aware of what operation is carried out, and possibly whenever we retrieve the Stigo medium, there are certain estimations, there are certain mechanisms or certain attempts are there which will try to estimate the matrix or the transformation what you have carried out here by some inverse operation. And some or other way, whatever the stego you have or whatever the information or the message are, you have embedded it down, possibly you may retrieve the similar or the estimated message which is slightly similar or completely similar to the earlier one. The complete similarity, definitely it's a difficult one, it's an ideal situation and it's a rare condition. So possibly I'll say that and R1 should be slightly closer together. So whenever we are having certain estimating by transformation A and the inverse of that A and finding out the secret messages, then possibly this is the blind identification or the public identification, and this is slightly difficult than the other styles whenever you want to estimate the information hidden into the cover image itself. Whenever we'll go for the types of the stick analysis, one of the category for the having the classification, I may say that there are passive stick analysis or you may have the active stick analysis. Likewise, we are having some passive steganography or other in a case whenever we consider for the cryptography also, we are having some passive attacks and we are having some active attacks. Don't have that relation. Only the thing is that whenever we'll go for the passive stick analysis, it is not harming or it is not disturbing or it is not changing the content of your cover image. It will just go for cover image or cover medium, whatever you are saying. As I said that I am using images here for the demonstration purpose. So whenever the passive stick analysis is there, it will detect the presence or absence of the message. That will, it will just say flag information to you, either 1 or 0, that if it is having a presence, it will give you indication 1. If it is absent, then it will give you the indication as the 0. That means it will just give you indication whether the information is hidden down or not hidden down, and then possibly you may send it for the further forensic analysis. But whenever you will have the active analysis, possibly you may have the further estimation. Let the further estimation may be in terms of the estimation of the message and the length of it and where exactly it is inserted, that is the location of the particular hidden information, or you may determine the algorithm or the stego tool with which the possible hiding is carried out, or possibly you may have estimation of some keys, possibly these are the secret keys, or you can have some other operations in terms of the public key also, that is whatever are the keys, and you can estimate the keys for the embedding so that for other groups of your particular hiding you can use the similar key or the same key, and then you can have the further estimations also, or other you can extract the message. This is actually the ultimate goal, but slightly it is difficult, or we may say that the passive is slightly simpler for the detection system, and whatever are the active stick analysis are there, these are requiring certain higher workout to go for estimation of the message or the length or the location or the algorithm or even the key is there. Okay, so whenever we are going for the message length, actually it is said that whenever the stick analysis techniques are there, actually it is proposed that if any message is available or not, only if you are able to understand that much of the thing, then possibly it's sufficient. Otherwise, actually going for the length and the location of this one, this is the next step of your particular algorithm operation, and such type of the things can be ignored at the initial level. Now whenever we go for the stick analysis, there are certain goals, and with those goals we need to have certain estimation of the algorithm. The first goal is that, okay, whatever is the estimation, what is the indication whether the given information is hidden down or not hidden down, accuracy should be there. There should not be any false alarms. And whatever are the operations we carry out or the algorithms we carry out, there should be the consistency in the results of the operations. How many times we run the operation, it should give the same result, that the hidden message is available or hidden message is not available. And definitely it should minimize the false positive. That means whatever is the detection accuracy and what is the accuracy we expect, that is the false positive should not be there. Actually these are the ideal conditions. Again, we have seen that whenever some eta accuracy is there, we have seen that there is absolute difference in the false positive detection and the actual detection, and that difference should be the as zero as possible, as minimum as possible. So in that way we can have certain goals in our mind. So So whenever we'll work out for the methods, again I'll say that these are certain types for the workability. So one method is that universal stick analysis, and the second one is the specific stick analysis. That means for working for the specific steganographic algorithm. So what is the idea of this one? I'll try to elaborate. For example, whenever we'll go for some universal stick analysis techniques, these are independent of the embedding technique what you are using. Whichever is the algorithm, no doubt you can have certain methodology to have the estimation of the finding or identifying the hidden information. It is not dependent to any of the algorithm, any specific algorithm. So common approach is that it will identify certain image features that can reflect the hidden message presence. Such features are very important because these features are able to give you the idea whether the information is hidden or not hidden. In general, such types of the algorithms are following two-step processes. One step, that is the first step, is that extraction of the good features. Actually, good is a very subjective criteria. What exactly is the meaning of the goodness? Okay, we'll discuss about this one. So whenever we'll have certain features, we need to find out, we need to calculate the features which are sensitive to the embedding process, and that sensitivity is very important, and that will allow us, that will indicate us that whether the information is hidden or not hidden. And then we need to find out some strong classification algorithm which will help us to classify with the help of those features whether it is hidden or it is the stego image or it is the pure image, and that will definitely require some training, and some of the ideas are there. We'll discuss those ideas. So accordingly, whenever I'll go for certain features, and when we talk about the goodness of the feature, actually as I said that it's a subjective idea, and that good feature definitely will fulfill our goal, the goals what we discussed about, that it should give me the accurate result, it should give me certain consistent result, and it should be monotonic with the size of your message itself. That means if you go for having the increase in the size of your message, then particular feature should be able to give certain, say, indication in that term. That means the relationship should be in a proportion to the message size or the message length itself. So when we talk about the stick analysis in practice, when we have some universal stick analysis techniques, actually the universal stick analysis techniques are applicable to any possible algorithm. So whatever are the perceptions for the embedding, all perceptions can be taken together in a mind, and some algorithms, such algorithms are designed. So I can say that these algorithms are less accurate for a specific algorithm for the detection purpose, but these are usable, these are useful for any new embedding with any new technique. Rather, whenever we go for some specific steganographic algorithm, as these are designed only considering any specific algorithm, the good detection accuracy for that specific algorithm is there, but these are not useful, rather these are not so helpful for the new embedding technique. So in a way, if you are knowing the specific algorithm or the specific methodology, then possibly according to that methodology you can design your steganographic algorithm or stick analysis algorithm also. There is no need to go for the universal technique, but it is actually dependent on the application, it is actually dependent on the situation what you are caring for. Now whenever I'll go for some supervised learning based stick analysis, actually this is the very well known, or this is a very good potential for the research purpose right now to go for the stick analysis area. So whenever we talk about the supervised learning, of course it should have some supervised learning, but you can have the option for the semi-supervised or even unsupervised learning also. Whenever unsupervised learning is there, some heuristic methods to be developed wherever you can find out or you can estimate the message, and accordingly you can define the peak performance like a game theory option for your unsupervised learning method. But right now we'll talk about the supervised learning method, where we need to construct a classifier to differentiate between the stego and the non-stego image. It's a binary classification, and definitely we need to have some training examples. For some features which are the known features, or which the features what we consider as the good features, are first extracted and given as the training input for the learning machine. Any of the learning mechanism you can use AI technique or the CNN technique or any further, extreme learning machines also are there for the learning purpose. These examples include both STIGO as well as the non-STIGO examples, and definitely we are knowing some ground truths for the actual known examples are there with which we can have certain training for certain supervised learning methods, and of course we can have certain validation with some of the samples, and then we can keep for certain testing. So how that training and the validation and the testing go on, that will be the another issue, and we can discuss in some another video. So definitely we are having some learning classifier which go for some iterative operations for the updates for the classification rules, and which are definitely dependent on the prediction with the ground truth as the one of the reference. Upon the convergence and the final STIGO classifier is obtained and can be utilized for the further operations. So such things are there always available in the intrusion detection systems, or rather at the perimeter level security or the system level security, or even at some portions of your firewalls are using such type of the concepts. And whatever are the features you have found, well, for which we have considered as the good features. So nowadays there are certain research topics are going on wherever you need to reduce the features and you need to find out some optimum features or some prominent features you can find it out, so that those reduced feature will go for increasing the accuracy, and definitely it will reduce the computational complexity. There are certain algorithms or there are certain features where we observe that even reducing 50% of the features, we are able to maintain the accuracy, and that is actually the good achievement wherever we work with certain scenarios. So these are the options wherever you can take up any of the algorithm and possibly you can go for the research purposes. Apart from this, if any statistical detection method is there, so there are few cases with which we can have certain statistics for the calculation. That suppose what statistics is involved in the particular operation or the function for the steganography, then possibly if you are knowing these statistics, then some parameters you may have a choice for the reference, and you can define some parametric models for the STIGO images or the cover images for the detection. But if the statistics are not completely known, if these are partially known, then suppose you are going for some parametric probability models, some probability is to be defined there, and definitely you need to have certain methods or certain trials where the probability can get increased, where that higher probability models you can define, or rather you can work, and definitely you can work for this one. Actually it is not giving you the actual parameters or the exact parameters, but rather the high parameter probability parameters can be used here for the estimation of the messages. And of course if the statistics is not known, it is completely unknown, then some of the filters possibly you may use. So Bayesian filter is one of the model where you can have certain idea in what way you can have the definition of the model and the design of the model, and then possibly you can go for the designing of your detectors, and in that way you can have the development of the algorithm. So definitely we can understand that whenever you go on considering those cases, as the case A is there, that case is slightly simpler than the case C is there. So in that way you can have the combinations for your workability. So of course, if the stick analysis is considered, there are general methods for the detections. These are the trial error methods. Actually, these methods use your own power. That is, if you are having some capability for visual detection, or if you are having some capability for the audio detection, or some statistical detections are there by just observing some histogram analysis. I think I have given one example of the histogram analysis in the steganography session itself, which gives us that okay, there are certain changes in these high textured areas wherever the number of pixels which is having the high gray level or the high color is there, where you can have the good hiding capacity. And some structural detections are there, that is some files are there. For those files you may find out some properties or some contents are there, and with finding out some size differences in terms of your bytes or kilobytes or megapixels or whatever are there, some dates and the times are there. If any difference is there for the embedding purpose, or even some contents if are changed, or even finding out some parity checks or some hash of this one, or check some values of those particular contents, you may understand that okay, what exactly are the changes carried out in the particular steganography and the carrier signal. That means you are going for the steganalysis. Few of the examples possibly we may go with this particular same video itself, or otherwise I'll post another video which is the tutorial based on some of the techniques, and that will give you some specific concerns or some specific cases which will go for having the identification of the particular hidden information. Now whenever we are going for the detection of the hidden information, some of the softwares what we are using for the steganographic purpose leave their signatures, and knowing the signatures of the specific tool you may possibly identify that okay, there is something hidden into the given information. The individual characteristic of the image can be inspected and compared with the non-stego images. For example, if I say that if hiding of a data in a spatial domain is carried out, and if the most popular method, that is the LSB plane, is used for the hiding purpose, then it will often simplify itself, or it will just reflect the hiding like a noise, and it is visually detectable. Likewise, such type of the noise, we can say that these are the snowy noise, and which is possibly visible with our naked eyes. I'll just show you one example for the snowy noise. Let this is the original or the cover image, and this is the information that to be hidden into the cover image itself. So it is the stego, or this is the covered image where the information, this number 1 image, is added upon into the number 2. So possibly you may find out that okay, it is hard to find, but somewhere you can find out there is some snowy effect wherever you can just look at my cursor level, where you can say that there are certain pattern or there are certain patches, and those patches are actually not available in the original, that is the cover image itself. And that squarey effect is because of having the change in your earlier spectrum, that is change in your earlier content, may be because of your LSB hiding. You can find out here. So this is the squarey effect, this is the snowy effect, and that is because of your hidden information. And with such information or with such indication, you may guess that okay, something has hidden into your cover image itself, and you may move or you may use this particular image for the further investigation. There is another example where the color palette, if it is there, that color palette is changed. For example, some ACE tools are there which are very popular tools for the steganography, which hides data in the LSB planes and the GIF table. So normally it is said that whatever is the palette we are having, 256 colors are cut down to the 32 itself, and the last 3-bit locations are used for the information hiding. So whenever it is detected and whenever it is inspected for the palette itself, then we may find that there is uniform increase in the color levels of the palette rather than say the distracted order is there. So if the colors are in groups, there is a specific increase in the color pattern itself, then we may indicate that it's a suspicious. I'll have here the example. Say this is the S tool and some of the palette I tried to give you the information, and that palette is sorted by luminance itself. So the first palette I'll say that which is the original 8-bit GIF palette with some original carrier signal, and by inserting some other stego information, and it is sorted by luminance itself. And the second palette again, it's a 8-bit GIF palette with the stego image where the information is added upon, and after insertion you may find that if the particular luminance is aligned here, and if it is sorted, then there is a monotonic increase in the particular luminance value. If it is the monotonic increase is there, that means some of the in-between gaps are used to hide the information. So this particular style is suspicious, and possibly you may go for the further investigation of the things. Now some of the headers and even trailers are there where you can hide the information. I'll go for the case hide for PGP, that is one of the steganographic tool is there, which uses 8-bit and 24-bit BMP images as the cover data. So you are having grayscale, or you can have here the color BMP images are there. By default, the storage area for the hidden information is in the LSB of the 8-bit. So it is said that the 4th LSB for 24-bit images are used for the hiding of the information. So whenever we are having BMP images have 54 byte header and the 8-bit images have 1024 byte headers are there. So some calculations is there for the byte and the byte ordering is there. So if you hide some plain text and use the default setting of the hide for PGP, then if you extract the 4th LSB starting from the 54th byte, or if it is the 24-bit image, then 1024 plus 54, that is give this plus this gives me the idea as the 1078, and if you start from this particular location itself, then you are able to get the hidden message itself. So actually this requires some practice, and with practice now the skilled person will be there who can understand, okay, if it is hidden something and what exactly is hidden there and at what location it is hidden there. So people need some expertise, some skill to have the idea over this one. I'll discuss about the another case where the JSTEC and the JPEG is there, which is another idea for the steganography. This software algorithm always called as with this particular name, and it leaves a significant signature on the stego image. So if people are able to identify or locate the signature, then the people can understand that okay, some stego information is there. It modifies the coefficients in the DCT that are not either 0 or 1 by changing that coefficients in the LSB. So we have known about the DC and the DC coefficient of the DCT and the contents of this one, how it is having the average value of the all coefficients, and if it is getting changed, then how it gets reflected in the entire spread spectrum. So likewise, if one has the cover image and the stego image both are there, that is in the case of your private steganography, then one can compare two coefficients, that is the earlier and in the stego one, and differ either by 0, 1 or -1, and accordingly can identify whether the stego information is having some content or not. I'll go for the another case F5, where F5 is another algorithm and hides data by modifying the quantized AC DCT coefficient indices. So these are some of the mechanisms rather than having only the LSB content changes. So instead of overriding the LSBs, what exactly is done by in JSTEC and the JPEG, F5 decreases the absolute value of the indices, skipping indices with the value of 0. So what exactly it means that whenever such type of the thing or such type of the change is carried out by F5, it preserves the symmetric and monotonic shape of the histogram. So it is not possible just looking to the histogram of F5 that whether the information change is there or not, and that's why you need to have certain approach which will discourage the detection, and that discouragement may be carried out, or rather you can have overcoming of this one with some test. Some statistical tests are there which is used to have the detection of the DCT coefficients and which are changed in the JSTEC JPEG, and that check can be carried out in the F5. Rather, I'll have one comparison here for the JSTEC F5 and one outguesses there. So if the coefficient histograms are carried out, you can find out this is the original and this is the changed one. In the original one, you can have here some balance, but whenever you find out the change, you may find out the location of the cursor, that some change is there in the histogram and that change is not reflected in the F5, but only the thing is that the middle value is having the peak value rather than the background, or rather you can say that it is having some increase in the contrast stretching may be carried out in the F5, which is one of the notification. And in the outguess, okay, there is again difficult to guess the particular estimation, but you can say that the envelope is increased here, it is made slightly wider than the earlier one. So according to that, you may have the observation of your histograms, and those particular methods are given with some known statistics, that is how much is the capacity for the hiding purpose and how many bits are there for the efficient embedding for the particular information, maybe 2 bits in a particular byte or rather 1 bit in a particular byte. Some information is readily available, or rather I have taken the reference of the information available over the net itself. So whenever we talk about the steganalysis and whatever are the detection methods are there, some categories are there depending on the in what way you are having the utilization of this one. Of course, if you are checking the particular, if you are having the analysis, likewise anomaly detection is there, then possibly you may concentrate over the histogram analysis, or you may check the change in the file properties are there. I'll have an example right now. Or you may check if any statistical attack is there, or you can develop your own attack machine. You may have some visual or the audible attributes for the recognition of this one, or rather you may check some pattern or the known signature which is used by the specific algorithm, and you can find out, you can extract, you will be able to extract such signature, and according to that you can have the detection for your Stickanalysis support, what you are going for. So whenever I say that some Stickanalysis is there, it can be modeled as if it is the mathematical problem also. So I can say that I can define some set, and those sets are having some elements according to the LSB contents of this one, and if the LSBs are changed, that is if the LSB value is changed, it will cause some flipping, maybe 1 to 0 or 0 to 1 is there, or some transitions are there from the one set to the other set. And knowing the cardinality of a set and knowing the set relationship from one to other one, if the relationship or the cardinality is going to change, then definitely we can imagine that the contents of the set are changed, and the contents, that means one element from one set is changed or is thrown out or is transited to some other set itself. So according to that, some analysis can be made, and this is actually is another problem for the research purpose, where some set theory can be utilized, some scope, some cardinality of the set can be defined, some elements of the set can be defined, and some equational relation of the particular set boundary is defined, and if it is changed, then definitely you can have the linear equations or some quadratic equations are there, which will help you to estimate the embedding of the message and of course the length of the message itself. And definitely such type of the examples, such type of the trials gives you very high precision for the calculation itself. So possibly some or other way we may try such say set theory for the estimation of the elements for the hidden options. I was talking about the anomaly analysis, and I was talking about some file properties. For example, properties may be given in terms of the timing of the creation or the modification of the file, or name of the file, or having even the contents of the file or the size of the file. If you find out the same file, and if you find out some different timings for the operation and even different sizes are there, definitely you may guess that okay, there is certain contents available in that, maybe in terms of addition. Though there is no addition, only replacement is there in the steganographic algorithm, possibly there are certain extra values, extra contents are there in the particular changed files are there. Or even if you can go for the checksum, which is actually giving you a very good idea, and many of the applications what I have discussed in the particular tutorial, these are going for the checksums or even the hash values of this one. So you can have some checksums are there, those checksums are for the specific file, say it is having some size, and for the another file it is having some size, and some checksums are there, and for a slight change in your content, definitely the checksum value will go on changing. So definitely for the before value and for the after value, if there is a difference in the checksum, then you can definitely guess that okay, the particular file is modified, possibly maybe because of the hiding some information over this one. We are having some ready-made data of the file signatures. Possibly these are the earlier nomenclatures what we have taken, but with the recent files we can find out some extensions and what are the hex signatures or what are the ASCII signatures are there. So you may find out these pure signatures in the particular files if these are not modified, but if the files are modified, definitely you may find out those signatures or the replacements of those signatures with some other contents. Again, I'll take one of the example in the tutorial video, and you may find it out for the purpose where the Stickanalysis can be carried out. Now, I would like to discuss about the Stickanalysis, because we have thought upon for the cryptanalysis, which is the independent attempt, and the Stickanalysis, which is another independent attempt. But if these two attempts are combined together, because many of the steganographic algorithms use cryptographic ideas with one key or the more than one keys are there. So if Stickanalysis meets with cryptanalysis, and if the both attempts are go hand in hand, then possibly practically we can able to go for identification in more detail, or rather we can find out the path in what way the say particular analysis is to be made. So whenever we are having, though we are considering that cryptanalysis and stiganalysis is the job of the opponent, or it is a job of the third person, but in the say particular area where we can say that it's a ethical hacking or some say cyber security concept is there, we people need to think in terms of the say black hat users or the cracker users. So how they can say think over the particular concept for the breaking purpose. If we think in that way, then we are ethically allowed to go for the making some cyber crime. So this is another idea or the thought process is there. So practically all steganography programs use passwords to hide the message. That means those passwords may be in terms of your keys are there. And if people are able to reveal or crack the password, or even the seed value which goes for having the check for your pseudo random key bit stream, which can be used as the key itself, or the seed for the any specific pattern wherever that pattern is used for the hiding purpose or even for the retrieval purpose, or any secret key is there, then definitely we may concentrate as if for the identification of the program which is used for the hiding for the message, or rather we may have the identification of the algorithm, program and algorithm, rather you can say that not necessary in the specific language or the specific platform what you are using here, but the steps or the instructions are used to encrypt the particular algorithm for the hiding of the message itself. If we are able to identify, it's a well and good in terms of the stiganalysis. If we are able to or identify the location of the program signature of the file, where the signature is there, what signature is there, and what is the size of the signature in a file, and how it affects the file contents, whether it is at the header position, whether at the footer position or the trailer position, all those concerns matter a lot. Definitely, if we are able to identify the location of the password in a file, of course some of the files are there, suppose shadow files, directories are there where Unix files maintain their own passwords, and if we are able to identify the locations, possibly it will help us a lot to investigate further. If we are able to identify the location of the hidden message in the file, of course this is again the say ultimate achievement we may consider, then definitely we can go for the stiganalysis and cryptanalysis. Both can work well together and the estimations can be made in a proper way. So likewise, I just pause here for the concept of the stiganalysis. Of course, the idea of the steganography and hence the stiganalysis both will help us to find out in what way the algorithm should be chosen down for the hiding of the information, and of course to crack or to break the particular algorithm and to get back the information what it is hidden into the algorithm itself. Of course, we'll continue this particular session with one of the tutorial where some practical examples will be discussed. You may say connect me if any of the say question is there, and we may have further discussion, because definitely I believe that together we can go for further explanation of the information. Thank you. Thanks a lot.